Raity's Rides, and today is the day my wife Lori and I are here in Salt Lake City, Utah at the Ford Performance Academy, and we are here to see what our vehicles, her Focus ST, my Focus RS, what are the limits of those cars. We're going to be doing some track events, we're going to be doing some autocross, we're going to be doing all sorts of different skills and drills, basically, from everything from putting it into drift mode in the RS and spinning her around and around and around to doing a time attack on an autocross layout. But tonight is the night of the reception, and I want to just take you around because I think it's really interesting what they have here for that Ford Performance enthusiast fan. So to start off, we're going to start off big. Right behind me, this is an original. This isn't a replica. This isn't something that somebody built in a garage. This is an original Ford GT40. Remember, these GT40s were specifically built to go after Enzo and the Ferraris at Le Mans, because remember, Enzo Ferrari had a deal with Henry Ford II. Ford was going to buy Ferrari. He backed out at the last minute, and that's when Henry Ford II said, we're going to beat his ass at Le Mans. And guess what? They won 4 years in a row, and ever since Ford beat Ferrari, Ferrari has not won the overall 24 Hours of Le Mans since then. So that's a little interesting fact. But let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Remember, GT40, we're talking about 40 inches off the ground. I just love the classic lines, the styling. Remember, in 2005, 2006, Ford decided to build that Ford GT, which is to honor the original GT40s, and they had the dimensions really down pretty square perfect. Obviously not as low as 40 inches, hence the name GT instead of GT40. But I love, I don't know if my wife can show you here, I love the knockoff wheels. Those are, era specific for that brand. And if you go down the side here, I just love the aerodynamics. And this is a time where styling of cars is just so unique. When you see this, it just screams 1960s, especially 1960s Ford Performance. Let's go ahead and take a look out back. You can see that big, huge V8 through the plexiglass window back there. Obviously, lots of power. These things screaming down that Mulsanne straight, over 200 miles an hour. I love the white with the green racing stripe. Very, very classic look. You know what's interesting? Here's a little fun fact. If I was able to open up this rear bonnet, did you know that they actually have two metal boxes that are basically, one's here and one's there? Those were actually boxes that were regulated to be luggage boxes. There were many rules that Ford had to stick to, and guess what? They were able to engineer, because remember, this car was built as a race car first, road car second. Speaking of road cars, let's go take a look over here at another one of my favorites, and really kind of ties in with the GT40, because remember, one of the main people responsible for that car is Carroll Shelby. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is an original Shelby GT350. So if you go down to your Ford dealership, you could buy a GT350. Well, guess what? When that car came out into the scene in 2016, that wasn't the first time that name was ever used. This car behind me started off life as a regular Mustang. Then Carroll Shelby used some of his trickery underneath the hood, on the outside, suspension-wise, and this is the end result. So when you look, what's going to separate it from a standard Mustang is right off the front. You can see that big, huge open grille. I love the functional hood scoop. Remember, these things were lighter. They had better suspension and better brakes than your standard Ford Mustang, because the Mustang was never intended to be a road racing car. But Carroll Shelby, obviously with Ford, was able to put his ingenuity with the Ford product, and these things became lethal on the racetrack. So let's look at the side here. I love you can see the CS, Carroll Shelby. I love this style of mag wheel. It really harks back to the 1960s. There were a lot of wheels very similar that Krager made and whatnot, but very, very classic style. I love the way the car sits, and there's nothing better than white with the blue racing stripes. Here's another little fun fact. That is America's racing color. If you go back to the 1940s, 50s, 60s, when you raced internationally, everybody had their own color. Red would be Italy, green would be England, silver would be Germany, and of course United States, it was white with blue racing stripes. So that's why that color is just so special, not only to Ford, but also to the United States. Let's go ahead and look our way down the side. I love how they put the lower striping down here. And this is something on the newer GT350s I would like to see. I like this style because it really, besides the stripes on the top, it really makes the car pop with the color. And I think that a little bit of extra color would actually go a long way. So I really, really like this look, and I'm hoping that maybe Ford will put this on the next GT350 or that GT500 coming out very soon. Take a look at the inside. As you can see, perfectly done up. You can see that 4-speed transmission right there. You got Carroll Shelby's original signature right there on the glove compartment. That's something that, remember, Carroll Shelby's no longer with us. He died back in May of 2012. But I just love the teak wood steering wheel, all the styling, just classic 1960s. And these Mustangs are just priceless today. And I'm so glad that they have this one here. Now, here's another nice feature that I like. Instead of having the quarter glass window, you have these faux vents on the side. Very, very nice. And this is that fast. Remember, all the Shelbys were fastback. So if you ever see a notchback, that car, and it has like Shelby graphics on it, that car was either cloned or a tribute car. Always going to have your fastback. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. I really like how Carroll just kept it simple. Standard Ford Mustang affair down here. You have your Mustang, fuel cap right here. You got the wonderful lighting and everything. And that's what this is about, is that this was a car that was a Ford Mustang race car for the road. Very, very nice touch. If you think these are cool, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other cars that they have at the Ford Performance School. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, here we are. This is actually what my wife is going to be running today and tomorrow. This is a Ford Focus ST. This is their school car. So as you can see, you're going to have that Focus ST look. Now these are 2013 models because you could tell by the hood. Remember, hers is a 2017. They changed the hood line here. You can see how this whole front end was updated for that whole 2015 year, and 2017, 2018, same style, but just a little bit of difference. And that's one way to tell the difference is the older design has this little notch here to go around the Ford emblem. Another thing is down in this lower grille are these two side ribs on each side. That's another feature that was from the first gen Focus ST for the United States, not the later gen. You can see what they put for track purposes is a tow hook. If the car was to ever break down or become stranded on track, you would hook this on, and this is what would tow the car back onto a flatbed, because you're not going to want to hook it anywhere else. This is something that's structural, that's going to be nice and solid. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side here. Standard Focus affair. You can see that they're running the Snowflake standard wheels. Obviously, they've decided to put some race-specific pads and rotors, but the actual caliper itself is still ST stock, which is nice to see because it shows that it has the performance. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and open up this door here. Take a look at the inside. You can see that they're running an ST1 seat package, okay? So these are ST1 seats. They're gonna be lighter, but this thing has a full roll cage in it. This is gonna be there to protect you. Also, another thing, if Lori can show you on the passenger seat, there's those 5-point racing harnesses. So this thing is all ready to go safety-wise when it comes to what you need for the track. Here's another nice one you're not going to see on your street Focus ST. Check that out. That's going to be that hoonigan handle that's going to allow you to pivot this car 180, 360 just by pulling on that instead of your traditional emergency brake. Very, very cool feature. And that's something you could actually order for your car, is an actual hoonigan bar from Ford Performance. It's all covered under warranty, believe it or not, as crazy as that sounds. Let's go ahead and check out the rear. So out back, we're running, you can see they've updated the exhaust on it. Very, very nice touch. It's gonna give you a nice deeper sound to it. I like that they decided to do that because out on the track, sound is so important. You're not gonna be staring at that tachometer. You're gonna be listening to the engine, knowing when to shift, all that kind of stuff. So that's why updating the exhaust, giving it a little bit louder sound, is also gonna be great for your ears. This is what the school is running. Let's take a look at a Focus ST race car. So this is an actual full-on Focus ST race car. You can see we're running a different wheel and tire setup. These are slick Continental tires. These are forged BBS wheels. So these wheels are gonna be lighter. They're gonna be stronger than cast aluminum. If Lori can show you inside the car, check it out. Full roll cage from front to rear, totally gutted. It's got the emergency exhaust system. It's got a full Sparco racing seat. Check out that shifter. Everything is there for race purposes, and it just goes to show what the Focus ST is capable of if you need to take it to that race car level. Fully capable. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front. You can see again, these are going to allow you to lock down that hood, and then when you need to come into the pits, you're going to take those out almost like a hood pin, allow you to open up the hood. You can see the intercooler back there, and then of course we have the standard tow hook here to pull you off if you're having trouble. Here's another thing I want to point out if you didn't see. They actually have functional, these are functional, these aren't on a factory one, carbon fiber ducts for the brakes. Very, very nice look. I like the way that they're thinking about that repeated abuse that the brakes are going to take. If you think these are bad, let's go check out a couple more other vehicles that are here before it gets busy. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, another great thing about this Ford Performance Racing School, it's not just about the Focus ST, it's not about the Fiesta ST or the Focus RS, or even just your standard Mustang GT. They have these track prepped Mustang Boss 302s. So yes, Ford doesn't sell the 302 Boss anymore, but guess what? You could come to this school, and here's a perfect example of what we have. So they took a standard Boss 302, and you can see they went with a full carbon fiber rear wing on the back. Now this rear wing, if we can swing it around back here, has adjustable struts. You could actually adjust the pivot of the wing up and down for less or more downforce. If you check out down here, we're running a huge 3-inch all the way back exhaust that's going to give you that throaty sound, very muscular sound. Everything else in the back of this car is going to be standard Mustang. They really didn't have to add anything diffuser wise, but you could see that wing is massive. I could actually have Thanksgiving dinner on that wing. That's how big it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at this side. I really, really like these wheels. These are once again going to be those forged BBS wheels. Very, very nice look. You can see how they have the cross-drilled, fully ventilated rotors. Check out the interior of this thing. Once again, just like the Focus ST race car we looked at, this thing is gutted. It's got a full race cage in it. You can see still the Mustang dash is there. It's kind of a really cool touch. It's got the AC vents. You can see the steering wheel. Everything is there for racing purposes. Very, very cool that they have this. And not only on display, but like I said, you could come to the Ford Performance Racing School and get behind the wheel of this very Boss 302. Very, very nice touch. Let's go ahead and look at the front because that's my favorite part. I really like the color combos that they have with the graphics of the Boss, and then here with this huge front splitter. This isn't a front spoiler, this is a splitter. It's adjustable. It's gonna help scoop air into that front radiator. Very, very nice touch. It's gonna stop air from going underneath. That is race car all day long. Let's get a closer look behind the wheel. So if you look behind the wheel of this Mustang, we're running, this one has a full Recaro racing seat. You got your OMP steering wheel. The steering wheel is going to come off every time you want to come in. You can see how they're running a full data acquisition system, even though the stock gauges are there. Very, very nice touch. Very clean how they have, I mean, this thing looks like it's ready to enter any particular race weekend you could think of. Very, very nice touch. And then when you thought it was all over, guess what? If you love Raptors, they got you covered. Check out this full-on Raptor. So here at the school, we're in Utah. Yes, there's a racetrack, but there's also a lot of desert. This thing, they take you out and show you off-road capabilities of what the Raptor is all about. And you can see that most of it looks like that standard Raptor that you could get from your Ford dealership. But you can clearly see how they add the extra graphics on it. In the back, they have a rollover bar. Remember, you are going to be doing some major incline and declines in these things, and these things could take it. It even has the spare tire in the back like you would find on a Baja truck, just in case you're out there and maybe you break the bead off of the tire off the wheel. So, but if you're talking about Baja, look what I have. I have one last surprise for you. They have a Baja 500. This thing was entered in the Baja 500. This is the Ford Raptor, the Gen 1. Because remember that we got Gen 2 with the twin turbo V6. This is that 6.2 liter V8. This thing won its class. Unbelievable. It's sitting here and it looks like it hasn't even been touched since the race. You can see the larger tires, the more suspension travel that they're using. But what's amazing is that engine is still a relatively stock 6.2 liter V8 from the Ford Raptor. Coming down the side, I'm gonna have Lori show you inside. Just like a race car, fully gutted, everything that you need, nothing that you don't. I don't know. You see over there on that side right there? That's a spare drive shaft that they have here. Unbelievable that they have to run. Remember, when you're out there in the desert and you're in the middle of nowhere and something breaks, you gotta have the parts on hand to fix it, to get you to the end. And guess what? They've thought these things through. Check out the front of this. Massive push bar here. You can see how we have full protection to protect the underside of the front end of the truck. This is what the Baja is about, and it's really cool to be in the presence of not only the cars that we're going to be using, but also things like this. But anyways, if these are the things you like to see on Raiti's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not hit subscribe yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back every single day for more and more. I got a little bit of everything for everybody. If you haven't checked out my Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter pages, definitely want to check those out. I like to put sneak peeks of things that I'm going to, such as this event, those types of things. If there's anything particular you want to see, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not visited my website, raitisrides.com, check that out. I want to give a huge thank you to my wife, Lori, for not only being on this journey with me in life, but also here at the Racing Academy and working the camera. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next one.